Reddit, what is the worst thing you have ever done for money? Me and my girlfriend at the time agreed to drive a complete stranger home for $20. We stopped at an ATM and he withdrew $220. He then hopped back in the car and asked to watch us make love for $200 extra. We did. Sounds like you got hit up by Bang Brothers. A friend of mine in college was maced in the face for $200. He made a whole Facebook event for it and a bunch of people showed up to watch it happen. Looked very painful. Not even for money, but I whipped my dong out in the schoolyard in 2nd grade for a bag of chips. A girl I used to work with posed for sets of nude photos in Ibiza when she couldn't afford her plane ticket home after working there for the summer. Crap was like 50 quid. Now they are all over the internet. Basic training. Fort Jackson in the summer of 2001. Was bored. Stuck my hands in fire ant hills and made nearly $600 from spectators over a period of 9 weeks. I'm not proud, but to me it was free money, plus they only hurt when they stop biting. In college I was really poor. One day I saw an ad on campus for volunteers to participate in a psych study. It was about suicide. It paid by the hour. The more suicidal you were, the longer you stayed and the more money you got. I bet they thought I was ready to off myself any minute. I wasn't suicidal at all. I just wanted food and gas money. Haha, that sounds like a horrible study on so many levels. Not me. One of the soldiers under my brother. He came in to my brother to get some help at a Monday morning after a big weekend. He changed his name legally for $450. He changed his middle name to the and last name Hamster. I don't know his first name, but let's call him Paul. His name was legally Paul the Hamster. The guys who bet him paid the fee and bought him a case of Smirnoff. What he didn't realize is that you can't change your name again for 12 months, and to change it back cost $450. He did it because his wife was pregnant and he wanted the cash to help pay for stuff. Forever on his son's birth certificate his father is Paul the Hamster. Wasn't payment in cash, but a friend of mine put a mangy dog's balls in his mouth for a bet. His reward, the loser now has his full name tattooed on him forever. That's the sort of story where nobody wins. I knew a friend in high school who was bet $10 to staple his forehead before the teacher arrived in class. He didn't hesitate 1 second to grab the stapler and promptly smacked it against his face. The teacher entered and saw tall Paul bleeding from his head with 2 streams of blood. She gasped and asked what happened. He looked up at her and said, "Business transaction," then stood up and asked to use the bathroom. That is the manliest response. Freaking awesome. I stuck a rolled up piece of newspaper in my butt, lit it on fire, and ran onto the field at halftime of a rugby match while I was in the Navy. I made about $150 for it, and didn't have to buy any drinks for the rest of the night. Ah, the classic flaming butthole. I was out of work and really hard up. It was taking a long time to find a new job. To eat or pay rent I was forced to resort to a labor exploitation day labor camp. Most of time there wasn't very much work and the built guys got all the good ones anyway. I was pretty desperate, so I took a job circling around the garbage mound picking up all of the trash that blows off of the landfill. Let me tell you, it takes days to get the city dump smell out of your nostrils. Demolished an asbestos filled house. I see no future problems with that action. Snorted wasabi. It wasn't that weak Costco stuff. This crap was pure. Ouch. This girl I had hooked up with previously was calling and begging to come over and hang out hook up. I kept telling her no, I was busy. I really didn't want to sleep with her again. After I finally think she understands that it was just a one night stand, she pauses and says, "I'll bring over a pizza." I was in college and poor. I made love for a pepperoni pizza. I understand. College fricks with your bank account and makes you stoop down to a level so low that even you yourself don't realize you could go that low. Money is money, especially in college. A free pizza is a free pizza. Stuck my finger up another guy's butthole many times. I work in a mobile piercing studio on festivals. On the last day, people smell really ripe. A guy wanted me to pierce his girlfriend's clitoris. By the smell of it, the pair of them hadn't taken a shower in a while and spent the entire festival wallowing in mud, covering themselves in beer and other liquids, and have a lot of sweaty lovemaking in a hot tent. I sprayed some deodorant into a face mask, put some extra covers on my furniture, wiped some more than I usually would while disinfecting and charged 10x my usual rate. I can still smell it sometimes. For the incredible sum of $1, I lathered my testicles in tiger balm. Imagine Icy Hot's even more intense Asian cousin. Before we started dating, a girlfriend I had back in high school would clean houses in her underwear or lingerie for money. Some other lady would set up the appointments and she would show up, alone, to some dude's house, undress, and then clean his crap for an hour or so. Still makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it. Oh, and she was 16-17 years old at the time she was doing this. That sounds incredibly safe. A guy at work was cheating on his wife. His wife found out, goes ballistic, but they're trying to work it out. Well, she is all paranoid and asks for his phone records to prove he's not cheating anymore. He prints them out, but they still have the number of the girl he was cheating on listed. He assured me he'd stopped cheating. He asks me if I can edit out the woman's phone number and reprint the documents to show that he hasn't been. I protested at first because I know his wife, but he offered me $100 to do it, so I did. They're still together now, so I guess it all worked out. I still feel a bit guilty. Not me, but my cousin was actually a male prostitute on the streets of Philadelphia for a while. He would service mostly older men in exchange for either money or see. I only recently learned this through my uncle, his father. There were actually several things that seemed suspicious and probably would have given it away quickly if anyone in our extended family had cared enough to dig a little. He is doing much better now with the help and support of his parents and my grandfather. A handy's still a job. Gave a trucker a hand job for $50, and I'm a lesbian. Made love to a 55-year-old when I was 21. I get disgusted anytime I think about how I stooped so low. I take it wasn't a George Clooney type. I gave the guy I liked a handy for $75 the summer between 8th grade and freshman year. We were dating. In hindsight, I don't think we were really dating. It really was easy money though. I never did it again and I never will. That's a pricey handy. Snorted popping candy. The feeling of hearing it pop inside your head is something I would never want to relive, ever. When I was a freshman in high school, me and this guy would make trips to Walmart every day and steal a bunch of gum, candy, decks of cards, and sell them all at school for a little cheaper than Walmart did. We'd make at least $40 a day each. He'd steal electronics sometimes, and I'd get them sold, and we split profit. It was horrible. Did it for months and months. Didn't ever get caught. It ended though, and I regret being that horrible of a freshman. This is going to sound terrible. Don't judge me too hard. I was about 9 at the time. Growing up, my next door neighbor was blind. She a really nice old lady and we would help her with shoveling and other odd tasks that she had trouble with. Anyway, this one time, my brother and his little friend were in the backyard playing and I convinced them to go up to her front door and pretend they were people collecting donations for something or other. We thought we were so slick she only gave us $1. I have felt guilty about it all these years later. That was like 15 years ago though. I drank beer out of a Fleshlight case for $80 at a bachelor party many moons ago. In case no one understands just how gross that is, a Fleshlight, you know, a fake fleshy rubber vagina dudes used to masturbate into, come in 2 parts, the rubber sleeve itself and the plastic case. The plastic case can be airtight enough to drink out of it. Cleaning this thing is a real bee, so some people don't bother and lets leftover lube sprinkles and man juice rot inside there for who knows how long. Remember the cum box? Exactly like that, only you're now drinking something out of it. I drank a 40 malt out of that freaking thing. Well, at least the alcohol cleaned out most of the germs, right? I once bought my friend a beer so he would do a tequila suicide. Snort a line of salt, take the shot, squirt the lime in your eye. Best $3 I ever spent. I licked the linoleum floor in a hospital storage room for a fun-size York peppermint patty. In my defense, York peppermint patties are very tasty. You aren't being judged. Sold my underwear. Oh, I worked in retail for a few years too. It does indeed suck. I was delivering pizza. A rather unattractive trucker lady took a fancy to me. She offered me $100 and dinner to suck my dong. That was 2 years ago. She still hits me up when she is in town. When I'm low on cash I grudgingly oblige. Tell em large Marge blue ya. Interrupted a couple's steamy time in the bathroom at a bar I work at for $10. 8/10 would do. I sucked an old man's dong for whiskey. I always suspected that's where whiskey comes from. Roofing. Frick that crap. Also one time I did a shot of mayonnaise for $1, so not worth it. I think I could handle the mayo easily. I'd do this for $5. Snorted 2 lines of salt for a pair of unreleased team snowboarding goggles. I looked as if I'd been pepper sprayed. Stealing a .45 caliber pistol from my brother so I could sell it for drug money. I got robbed in the process of selling it, someone got shot and I got ratted on and served a year in jail and have been in and out since then. Most hardcore crap in this thread, man. No doubt. Bite the head off a living shrimp. They eat live shrimp in Japan. I mean, people pay to eat it. I made love to a guy for $750. He was a creepy guy who trolled the mall for lovemaking. A lot of the other girls who worked in the mall were doing it and we all talked about it. He was friends with the security guards, a regular at the mall. I guess we felt safe with him. I think I was 18-19 at the time. He looked like Joey Buttafuoco. Tall, beer belly, black slicked back hair, moles on his face. Confident for no reason at all. Italian New Yorker living a miserable life in the suburbs in NJ. He told his wife and her family that he had a gambling problem and that is why he was spending so much money. One girl would sleep with him monthly on schedule to help pay her car insurance. I think that went on for a year or so and we all lost touch with him as we stopped working at the mall. I never did anything like that again. TL. DR. 18-YO chick made love to a creeper for $750. A coworker of mine apparently licked a toilet in the guy's changing room for $20. Not me, but a friend of mine sold a bag of grass clippings to some 7th grader for $50 or so because he thought he was buying herb. Yeah, this happened to me at school on my first attempt to score weed. They sold me a bag of parsley instead. For the next 2 years my nickname was Parsley. You have been visited by the party pug. He just wants you to celebrate with him. Comment woohoo to celebrate with the party pug. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.